Life happens outside of your living room. So if you are trying to drop your aspiring act and, show up in the world as that thing that you said that you want to be, you're going to have to start doing it outside of your living room.
Hey, queens. Yeah, you. You know who you are. God, come on. Go ahead and put that crown on your head. Now tilt a little to the left. Now a little to the right. Perfect. Now let's get to work. Because we know you got big goals. And you got big dreams and not afraid to let them know. Why? Because you step into your purpose. You speak out on your faith. And you shift up in your journey. Because you a boss. Welcome to the podcast, Drop the Aspiring Act with your host, Belly of QueenBAEGoals.com. Reminding you that you are a queen before anything else. It's your life and your goals. Make it royal. All right, y'all. Go ahead and work that crown.
Welcome back to another episode of Drop the Aspiring Act. So this week we are going to talk about the principles of QueenBAEGoals.com. And this week we are talking about build strong relationships. So building strong relationships is very key for anybody who is trying to drop their aspiring act and become an entrepreneur, become an author, become a singer, become an artist of their life, right? Anybody who is getting ready to drop their aspiring act, they have to have a community of people. They have to have connections. They have to build those relationships internally and externally. Building strong relationships is one of the principles of Queen BAE Goals because it's very important to have connections and very important to have community. And it was very hard for me. Seriously though, I am an introvert. I may not sound like one as I'm doing the podcast, but I am truly an introvert. And one thing I've come to realize is that I have to, if I want to grow as a person, if I want to grow in my business, if I want to grow and put myself out there into the world, I have to build those connections. I have to, learn how to create an audience. I have to learn how to create a community. And for the longest, for years, like the friends that I've had are the friends that I've had like forever. The friends that I've had, like the four main people who I call like my really, really true friends are the people who I grew up with from since elementary school, right? And then after that, it was like some of the friends that I've met in college where I had like maybe 2 or 3 from there, as friends. But those are relationships that I've built. Those are very close relationships that I've had. Like I don't have a handful of people, that I call friends. I don't have a handful of people that I call, I can pick up the phone and call like if I have a problem. And I realized that if I want to get anywhere in business and in life, I have to start building deeper and stronger connections. So building strong relationships was a big key for me to move forward. And that's why I wanted to make it one of the principles of Queen BAE Goals. Like I say all the time, I'm not in any ways perfect. When I talk about these principles, that doesn't mean that I've mastered them yet. Like I'm still in the process of mastering some of these relationships. But you definitely have to build strong relationships in your personal life and in your professional life. In the 20 Habits series that I'm doing on my YouTube channel, one of the habits that I wanted to build is, calling people more. And if you watch that video on when I do the 20 days of, actually calling somebody every day and speaking to them, not just texting, but actually speaking to somebody on the phone, actually getting into more personal conversations than just a hey, what's up text, that was kind of pushing me a little bit out of my comfort zone, and like talking to people online, like people who you never met before. I've learned to now give I would go on people's posts, people who stuff that I like on Instagram or Facebook, and actually post a comment, and give feedback on something. Because if my company's goal is to empower and motivate and inspire women, I have to be doing that in real life, right? So what's the point if I'm not doing it in real life? So that's why I'm saying I'm not perfect. I still try to do that. And I'm still working on building relationships. So the keys, I think, for building strong relationships is making sure that you kind of develop a genuine connection. Don't just try to build relationships with anybody that's out there, or don't try to just build a relationship with somebody that you think is going to help you get further. Build genuine connections with people who you can relate to, with people who you genuinely have an interest in, outside of how can they help you. Think beyond, how can this person help you. If that's the only reason why you want to build a relationship with somebody, then don't even start. Because if all you're trying to do is get something from somebody, and that's not the premise of a good relationship, that's not the foundation for a very good relationship. Another tip is to get on social media, not just like places like Instagram and Facebook. If you're building professional connections, you can also get on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a more professional network, like for the people that you've worked with in previous companies or the companies that you want to work with in the future. Get on sites like LinkedIn and actually, start following these companies, looking at the people who work there, seeing the things that they're doing in the community, see the things that they're doing around you, and just start trying to develop those relationships. And then the third tip that I would give you is part of building relationships, because I tell you that all of these principles always tie into one another. And part of building your relationships with, your professional and your personal life is to also understanding yourself, because you have to understand, the type of person that you are, whether or not you're introverted or extroverted. You have to understand how you are, the way that you are going to respond to certain situations, like whether it's meeting somebody online or meeting somebody in person. You need to understand yourself so that when you going into those situations, okay, well, I know I don't, okay, let's say, give an example. I don't like parties. I'm not saying I don't like parties. I do like parties. But for somebody who's really introverted and they don't like parties, they don't like being around people, they probably know, if I'm going to go to this party, I'm going to go sit over in this corner and I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm only going to talk to the people who I know. But as part of learning yourself and learning that you want to start building relationships, and that this is what you're going to do when you get to the party, give yourself a goal, give yourself a little challenge, right? So, okay, I'm going to go to this party and I'm not going to try to sit in the corner. I'm going to try to build a relationship with one person. I'm going to talk to somebody at this party, and not just somebody that I know. So maybe it might be that you talk to somebody that you know and they introduce you to somebody else. If that's how you need to start talking to the other person, if you're not bold enough to just go walk up and start talking to somebody, maybe have somebody that you do know introduce you to somebody else. And then you kind of try to have a conversation that way. So part of building relationships is knowing yourself and knowing how you interact with people, whether online or in person. Knowing yourself enough to know, okay, if this is what I usually do, maybe this is what I need to start doing instead, so that I can start building these connections, building these relationships, building this community. So I hope this has helped anyone who wants to learn how to start building, professionally and personal relationships in their lives. If you're getting ready to drop your aspiring act and you want to go out there and you want to create something great, you have to understand that it's going to take not just you, it's going to take you and a community of people to help you get there, because you're going to need those connections in order to get further. So build strong relationships and start building those relationships now, so that it will help you in the future. And you're not building relationships just to help you or just to help your business. You're building those relationships to help yourself. To kind of get yourself out of your little comfort zone, so you can have, connections. Like in one of my in the goal setting series that I do, one of the things that I challenge the community on is to go out there and find your people, find who your people are. So if you have, for example, who are your people if you having a bad day and you need somebody to talk to, who is that person that you call? Who are the people that if you have a new idea and they're just, they're always going to be excited to listen to whatever it is that you say, who is that person that you're going to call? Who is that person that if you just hit something on the head and you're just trying to find somebody to, listen to your ideas as you spew them out, so that you can like actually say them out in the open? Who is that person that you call? So identifying your people. And if you don't have people and you're just sitting in this little bubble of yourself, you don't have the outside experiences, you don't have other perspectives, you just have, what you know from your own life. And it's not good to go through life just looking at the world from your perspective. There are way more perspectives in the world, And you kind of have to get out of your own way to see that. You have to build those relationships outside of yourself to see that. So I hope this has helped anybody who is looking to start building relationships with other people.
Okay, so next week we are talking about aligned habits. Because part of, living on purpose, which is the goal that comes before that, part of being able to live on purpose is making sure that the habits that you have in your life are aligned with the things that you say that you want. So that's how I tell you all of these goals that I have are connected in one way or another. And next week, as we talk about aligned habits, we're going to kind of talk about the next one, which is live on purpose. But we're going to talk about habits and making sure that our habits are aligned with the things that we say that we want. So if you are committed to dropping your aspiring act and showing up as the entrepreneur, the author, the small business owner, the singer, the VP, the CEO, whatever it is that you're aspiring to be, you have to make sure that your habits align with that thing that you say that you want. So make sure that you come back next week to listen to Aligned Habits, and I will talk to you guys in the next podcast episode.
You have been listening to another episode of Drop the Aspiring Act. If you're looking for more information of this podcast and other episodes, please visit queenbaygoals.com. That's QUEENBAYGOALS.com.